Welcome, everybody, to the Flight Control Podcast. I'm your host, Oddball, and I'm joined by my wingman, Lokke. Today is an introduction to our new podcast where we will discuss everything Star Wars, but more specifically, we'll be taking a journey into the Clone Wars because what better place to start than there? Lokke, what's up?
What's up, dude? How's it going?
I'm doing good, man. This is our first time
Yeah.
recording, definitely not our second take. Um, this is exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to go on this journey.
Yeah, so let me know your experience with Star Wars, like how much you know, your favorite movies, TV shows, things like that. Just, how familiar are you with this? Because I know you're not like as deep into the lore as I am.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I've been slowly listening to some of your videos and stuff, and it's super informational. But I have watched the original trilogy, then the prequels, and then the stuff that some people considered non-canon, uh, which is pretty fun. But then I've seen Mandalorian, and that's it. I've seen clips of other ones as well, and some of the animated, but not much at all. I try not to. I try to stay away from the spoilers.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And we've been talking about this for a minute, so I know you've been trying to avoid that stuff. Um, if you guys are familiar with Locke's voice, he's shown up a few times on stream with me, playing Helldivers 2. I think other games as well, but probably mostly Helldivers 2. So
Battlefront
yeah,
2.
Battlefront 2. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exciting because I definitely like making content for YouTube, and they have a podcast tab. So I was like, hey, why don't I do a podcast? And you wanted to discuss ideas as well, and so we came to the conclusion that doing kind of like a rewatch series. Each season we'll kind of like do a different show. Each season of the podcast, that is, we'll watch a different show, and I think Clone Wars is a good place to start.
Definitely. Came out when I was 6, so I'm pretty excited.
Dude, I remember watching the first episode when I was a kid, and it showed up on Cartoon Network, and I was like, "This is
Yeah,
so cool."
dude. Yeah, for real. It is. I remember. Yeah, a lot of like little figments in my brain of just the memory of seeing a little bit.
Yeah, and a lot of people when it first came out, they had the movie or whatever, and that's one of the first things we'll be discussing in episode 1 is that movie, is like the Battle of Christophsis arc. Um, you know, when that movie came out, a lot of people were like, "What is this animation?" But I gotta say, like, it's really it's gotten only better over time. You'll see in season 1, it's pretty rough, but by season 7, and then by the time we get to the Bad Batch, even and Tales of the Jedi, you'll be like amazed by the detail and it's just everything about it. It's just so nice.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really like hold close is when I watch a show, the animation or just the detail they can put into a shot, if it's live action too. But yeah, it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah, and I would say that animation, it kind of gets a bad rap. For whatever reason, there's like segments and like groups of adults and people that just consider it to be for kids, and they're honestly missing out on a lot of good stuff, and not necessarily just like American animation, but even like anime and stuff like that. Like, both of us just watched War of the Rohirrim, and that's like a 2D anime style, and it was pretty cool to see that universe in that way.
Yeah, I thought it was really awesome watching that. But I remember seeing a comment on a trailer of War of the Rohirrim or something, and there was a guy that said, "It would be awesome if this wasn't animated." It's like,
Yeah, see,
dude, come on.
exactly. And there's a group of Star Wars fans that are like that as well. For whatever reason they want to act like this side of Star Wars, the Clone Wars and Rebels and things like that. Rebels even has a totally different animation style than Clone Wars, but they just want to act like that stuff is like, yeah, it's not for me, and it's kind of a bummer because you're missing out on a lot of good Star Wars.
Yeah, it's true. There's I've had this hanging over me for a long time, and finally got to this conclusion, this idea, and now we're making it happen.
Yeah. So let me kind of break it down for you, the listener. Each podcast episode, we will discuss a story arc within the Clone Wars. With this being the first time Locke has watched this show, like we've previously said, I gave him the option of release order or chronological, and he chose chronological. And I can't blame him. It makes more sense. How did you feel? How did you come to that conclusion? Do you just want it to make sense, or?
Yeah, that's one big thing that I've always liked, knowing that the order of events that I'm witnessing are all happening. So it's like, because that's one thing with movies, sometimes they show like the ending at the beginning. That's one thing I'm not a fan of. And so any sort of like, it's almost like a spoiler. I know some shows can do it well, but that's just the way I like consuming media. It's just in order.
Yeah, totally. No, I get that.
And actually,
Um,
uh, tidbit. That's how I watched. So I watched the Star Wars, originals and the prequels when I was way young, but I didn't really remember much. And during high school, I rewatched all of them, and I did it in chronological order, watching the prequels and then the original.
nice. So you worked for like Phantom, Attack of the Clones, Revenge, and then
Yep.
to the originals.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nice. What would you say, kind of jumping back to like what you know about Star Wars, what would you say your favorite movies, however, whichever ones are your favorite, which ones would you
Oh
consider
yeah.
your favorite? And then I guess like favorite character.
Sure. Yeah. I'd say so. I'm trying to answer this for me. What's the one with when they're in the arena? Is that Return of the Jedi?
So the arena is Attack of the Clones, the
Oh, Attack of the
Geonosis.
Clones. Attack of
Yeah.
the Clones. Right. That one is yeah, that's one of my favorite like set of scenes right there because of just those monsters and stuff. I love different, unique creatures that are attacking, and the way they handled it too was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I would say the Attack of the Clones, which, depending on the fan, a lot of prequel fans like it. A lot of people consider it, their least favorite of the prequels, and that's to do with like the Anakin Padme stuff. But I would say the third half, like the third half of that film
Hmm.
is so good. Like the stuff with and especially the stuff with like Obi-Wan investigating like the, assassin trying to kill Senator Padme,
Yeah,
and everything with like Count Dooku and like the separatists, that whole arena, and then the whole battle of Geonosis. It's pretty awesome.
it really is. I and to speak of my one of my favorite characters, Jango Fett, and he had met a sad demise there, but it's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, it'll be pretty cool for you to watch the Clone Wars because we don't get Jango Fett obviously because he's dead, but we will be getting some Boba Fett and like a young Boba Fett too. So that'll be exciting.
Nice. That's cool to see. It will be
Yeah.
cool to see.
Yeah, you kind of see him start out just in his bounty hunter phase. Yeah, you'll see, you'll see. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah.
Um yeah,
It's
that's
fun
pretty
talking
cool.
about it. Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm like ready to see throughout, everything is the different monsters design because I think that's what Star Wars does really well. It's like they're little aliens and stuff and big ones,
Yeah.
like the Rancor for
Rancor, dude, yeah. No, Star Wars has really created such a unique world through its aliens, through its monsters, planets, all that stuff. It's pretty unmatched to a lot of stuff out there. Um,
yeah.
and
What was the? Do you know the name of the one that the Millennium Falcon like flew through the tunnel? The thing that's like a giant worm,
the space slug, yeah,
space slug. Is that what it's called? That's crazy.
yeah. I think it's something like that. I don't know the exact like if it has a species name, but yeah, everything has a name, dude. Everything has a backstory. The monster in Phantom Menace, the underwater monster, that giant
Oh
one,
my gosh, yeah,
that has a name. That shows up in
horrifying.
a Darth Vader comic book, and he actually kills that thing.
Of course he
And it
does. He
turns
probably just
out,
crushes it.
I mean, it's a pretty epic battle, but it turns out
Nice.
that thing was like a one of a kind. Like it's the
Oh,
endangered. It's
serious?
like it's last of its species, and it's lived for like thousands of years.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, dang,
yeah.
dude,
So
made me feel bad for that thing.
I know, right?
Oh well,
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
comic books is
awesome.
a totally different side. I mean, if you want to dive into that,
Yeah,
I'll have some recommendations for you to read as well. But
maybe that'll
that's a
be
totally
another.
different thing. That's not
Mhm.
this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of put a conclusion on this, I want to just so we know at the beginning, this is the beginning of our podcast. It'll be cool to see near the end of like the Clone Wars who your favorite characters are. Who's your number one or at least top three characters?
Top three characters. Yeah. Okay. So right off the bat, man, love Anakin. Like you can't go wrong. He's just
The chosen one.
yeah, he's the chosen one. And honestly, everybody gave hate, to go back to the movies real quick, to Hayden Christensen, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it all. But yeah, I'm excited to see him in the animated because I have, seen glimpses of fight scenes and stuff, and I'm really interested to see the backstory for them. And yeah,
Yeah.
so that's my top one. But my
Number
other
one
ones,
spot, Anakin.
and why not just go to his sidekick R2D2?
R2D2.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
wow.
he's dude, to have personality in a robot that can just beep. It's so cool, and he
A
has such a
robot that
strong one.
looks like a trash can, too.
Especially, yeah, it's crazy. Man, hmm. General Grievous, man, I loved his character design and everything he's been. So I'm really excited to see if he makes. I'm pretty sure he makes an appearance, right? I've heard that they got
Dude, he
yeah.
gets a whole he gets his whole story flushed out, I would say.
Really?
Not like in high detail. There's some like other stuff in Legends, but he does get a lot of detail. Like there's a whole episode where he's going to be just like one of the main threats, or like there's multiple
Cool.
arcs where he shows up. Yeah.
Yeah. I love his interactions with Obi-Wan. So I do really enjoy Obi-Wan, but I guess he just yeah, Obi-Wan would be somewhere up there too, but it's too hard to pick sometimes.
Somewhere in the top 10 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, so it's cool to hear that because, maybe throughout the Clone Wars, it'll change. Maybe throughout Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch, you know, this top three will change. And then maybe your favorite, not favorite movies, but favorite shows will also change.
Yeah.
You'll meet characters like Captain Rex and Ahsoka and like all these people that the Clone Wars just flushes out so well. Um,
Awesome.
yeah, I would also say that the Clone Wars, while it does have a lot of Anakin and it does like not necessarily improve his character, but it does make you more sympathetic to him as a tragic hero. You kind of see his slow turn to like giving into the dark side, things like that. You see glimpses of it throughout the Clone Wars. That just makes it enhances your watching of the prequels if you have seen the Clone Wars. So once you
So
watch the Clone Wars, it'll be cool to see you go back to the prequels and watch them.
that's really cool. I would love to see like little pics from the show that you could then see, because I've heard only good things about how well they did with the animated show that connects it to just the whole story and stuff.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. And yeah, so we'll have to see. What I forgot to say during that ramble is that the Clone Wars, the main characters I would say of the Clone Wars is Ahsoka and Captain Rex. Like this is like their story in a way. Um,
It'll be really cool to see them more, because I mean we saw just a bit of them like in Mandalorian is what I saw Ahsoka mostly in,
yeah,
and that's when she's
exactly.
older, right? So that's not even like
Yeah, Clone Wars Ahsoka, voiced by Ashley Eckstein, is like my Ahsoka. I like Rosario Dawson as live action Ahsoka. I think she does a good job. But Ashley Eckstein, like she is the voice of Ahsoka. She's like the heart of Ahsoka. So it'll be cool for you to see the original version of Ahsoka, or at least the original voice.
right. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Only
Awesome.
good
Yeah. So
things.
good things are coming, right? So I think we covered most of it, right?
I think so too. Like, yeah.
Yeah. This has been a good meet the host episode. Obviously, wherever you listen to this podcast, leave a comment, send us a message. You can obviously go to our YouTube channel. This is where my YouTube channel, Star Wars Oddball, and you can see this under the podcast tab, and you'll be able to listen there, be able to listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. I'm going to try and upload this to as many places as possible, but YouTube is my home, and that's where the main channel is. So leave a comment there, subscribe, follow along. Episode 1 will hopefully come out a week, 2 weeks after this. We're gonna go for a bi-weekly release, and we'll be covering the Battle of Christophsis, which is episode 16 of season 2 and episode 16 of season 1, as well as the Clone Wars animated movie. So make sure to watch those so that you can kind of follow along with us. But yeah, any final thoughts, Locke?
Not really. I think kind of got all my notes in here. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Let's do this, dude. Yeah, I'm so pumped, and I hope that you, the listener, are excited for this podcast. And we'll see how it goes. It can only get better from here.
Oh yeah, only uphill from our technical difficulty stuff.
Yeah, exactly. We're figuring this out. We're just a couple of nerds trying to figure this out.
Got that right.
All right. May the force be with you, Locke. May the force be with you, everybody. Peace out.
See ya.